Okay, this is a buccal. So when you are carving the maxillary maxillary canine, you should keep this point that I have divided like this. This is the buccal aspect. So into 3. So we know that in the canine we have slopes, right? So we have mesial slope as well as distal slope. So we are going to do that marking has a mesial slope as well as distal slope. All this time we have never used to mark like this. Okay, so first one buccal side on the which side? Buccal side, and then one slanting line. Okay, so this you have to keep in mind that so this slanting line again gives the measurement of the mesiodistal dimension at the cervix. You should know the mesiodistal dimension of the cervix, mesiodistal dimension at the crown level. See, now I am marking it like this. One of you get the polishing cloth. Is it clear? Okay, again opposite of this, again I am turning here. Opposite of this also I am marking the same hut shape. Where exactly I am marking the hut shape? Where I am marking? Both on the
labial
buccal and the labial and the palatal side, or the labial or the palatal side. Okay, so once I do this, so I am just going to cut. You know that depending on the length of the slope, we are going to distinguish between the right side or left side canine. Okay, which slope is longer? Distal slope is longer. Okay, distal slope is longer. Okay, so I will be cutting. So depending on the side, so we have to make through and through. I am doing the cutting here also. I am doing the through and through. Look at this. So which side is distal here? This is the distal and this is the mesial. Again I have to cut through and through from labial to palatal. I am cutting through and through from labial to palatal. See, we got this form. Is the concept clear? Okay, we got this hut here. So again we have to go with the same way. As I have told you that mango shape we have to make it, but here the canine is the largest teeth. The singular starts with the middle 1/3 of the tooth. Is that clear? Okay, you have to middle 1/3 you have to mark, middle 1/3 of the tooth, and this is the bulkiest of the tooth. It's a big mango. Okay, so which is a Alfonso is a big mango. Alfonso is a big mango. Sure. One more is there, no? What is it called as? Okay. What is the one more mango? It's a very big mango. I don't remember that. Taste is also different. Okay, so buccal and the palatal side we are making a hut shape. Okay, whereas on this palatal side, okay, when you have to hold it on the mesial side to get palatal and the buccal side. Okay, what I am doing again, I am marking and I am marking. See, we know that it should be concave and it should be convex, whereas on the labial side everything will be convex. So I have just marked. Okay, both the sides you have to mark it. I'm just cutting through and through. As I've told you, this is the biggest mango, so we have cingulum starts at dash middle 1/3, middle 1/3. Okay, I'm cutting through and through. Through and through I'm cutting. Which side I'm holding? Mesial side. Through and through I'm cutting this part. Next, we know that little bit we are going to cut at the cervical part. So later on, depending on the measurement, we are going to cut further. Is that clear? So here again everything is in order to get this convex part, little have to remove here and at the incisal 1/3, at the cervical 1/3 and incisal 1/3, then only I will get the convexity. Okay, Again, I'm removing here, and also at the just see. So then we have to further trim. So crust of curvature is at the cervical 1/3 only. We have to further trim. Make sure that this slope should be on either side of the slope we are carving, because we need a ridge. What is this ridge? This is a labial ridge. So when we have to get the labial ridge, middle 1/3, we should not touch the middle line, okay, because in order to get the ridge, so the prominent ridge is present in the canine on the labial side. Ridge is present on the lingual side, mandibular also, mandibular teeth, but it is not that prominent as that of the maxillary canine. Okay, we have to create a labial ridge. Always remember, we can trim, but the final finishing you should get properly. This line you have to preserve, okay, so that we get the labial ridge. So again, the midline is also very, very important, okay. Don't make noise, keep quiet, otherwise you can leave. Okay, here also I'm just trimming, because we know that the overall dimension on the lingual side is less when compared to the labial side. See, I'm holding it, and I tell you people to do the lingual convergence, you have to hold the tooth like this, and you have to reduce on either side. Okay, whenever I tell you that it is broader on the lingual side or the palatal side, you have to trim the lingual side. See, once we remove, again the length will increases. Again we have to deepen the fossa. This tooth I am not going to do full, okay, so you have to go ahead and do the measurement properly, everything. This one, so see here, one slope, two slope, you have a ridge here, the prominent ridge, and the fossa here, and you have the singular. Is it clear? So you have to go back, stop. Shape, you have an idea right now how we get the maxillary canine shape. So depending on the measurement, so you have to measure it and then you have to go further. Okay, so only this much I will be doing today. So now you got the point, right? Slopes, how to get the finished tooth. Maybe next video we will do it, not now. So once somebody does properly, then I'll show the finished tooth. Okay, I'll just train you people. Okay, here again we can mark. Instead of W shape, we can mark on the mesial side. The same W shape is also okay because we have the broader shape. And here also, if we trim these two parts, the central part, so So we get the fossa. Okay, it is not like U-shaped fossa like central incisor. So it is W-shaped fossa because it is a bigger teeth and the fossa is also deeper. You see that W-shaped fossa. This is only the gross tooth. I have not measured anything, okay, but still we got the shape. Okay, so this is not the measure one. You have to sit and read the measurement, and you have to sit and do the other aspect. Okay, so you can also see the labial ridge over here. So I will show you the labial ridge. It's a trim on either side here. This is just a prominent line. Just present. Okay. So this is not the measure one. One of you have to do properly, and then we will give 360 degree. Fossa is also not absolutely correct, but you got an idea from this, right? So you have to go with the measurement, then the fossa will also reduce. But you have a broader fossa over here, not like the shallow fossa what you do it for the other teeth. Just look into this. Are you able to see this? So don't over polish the ridge because we need to see the ridge. As I have told you, that is only the prominent ridge. So we are going to observe all those parts. This slope is also very important, and this is the ridge. Okay, it's just an elevation.
Ma'am, in the book it shows the lingual ridge. It divides the W-shaped fossa, so it looks like the fossas are separate.
Yes, that's what I told. No, I have made also prominent here. Are you able to see here? I made it here a prominent fossa here, and I have trimmed this ridge, but it can go till here also. This ridge can go till here. But I have removed this. Okay, you can just remove only on either side, but you can leave the middle third like that only. When you are carving, you can do that. But still the fossa you can able to make out that it is prominent.